They call them big box stores. You've seen them sprout up all around the country since the latter part of the 20th century. They are huge retail centers with thin steel columns, steel truss roof decks with corrugated steel on top of that, and they are often prettified on the outside with exterior insulation finish systems, EIFS, or split-face block, and usually a combination of the two. They are often derided as architectural rice crackers, but not here. I believe they are the fulfillment of an aspect of modernism known as minimalism. Ludwig Mies van der Rohe gave us the phrase, "less is more," which is the soul of modernism. And if you compare the big box stores with his buildings at IIT in Chicago, perhaps you will agree with me. And the dynamic between those big box stores and Mies van der Rohe's buildings is why I call this segment of MIES and Men's Warehouse. Please note that modernism is an architectural movement that is over 100 years old. And in the future, to distinguish it from some other future modern movement, it will be given another name. Perhaps rationalism, perhaps minimalism, perhaps Penelope. Modernist, rationalist architecture began in the United States, but it caught on more quickly in Europe, sort of like the Ramones and punk music. The Bauhaus is probably the best example of that. When Mies came to America, he brought rationalist minimalism with him. Now, this movement did spawn the ubiquitous glass box office building we've seen, but do not fault a beautiful idea like minimalism with all the copies done ad nauseum by less skilled architects, builders, and owners. Because less is less expensive. At the Illinois Institute of Technology, IIT, in Chicago, during the 1940s, Mies got to run an architecture school and design about 20 of the buildings on the campus, exercising his theory that a single, simple steel and glass box could be designed that would accommodate almost any function: classroom, office, dining room, studio, etc. The buildings were that simple, majestic. The steel structure was exposed, the non-bearing walls were almost literally transparent. How the buildings served the purposes for which they were designed is the subject of some discussion. For the big box stores, then, it is not about the building as a thing unto itself. It is about its function. And like a haiku, it uses the smallest number of syllables possible in order to get the idea across. The idea for a retail store is very simple: keep out the weather and the thieves and be a billboard. For this reason, then, they replaced Mies's glass walls with solid walls. More protection, more interior space to merchandise, but the overall proportion is about the same as Mies's buildings. Even in today's world, the big box category killer might be able to compete with online commerce. The store can give what the internet cannot give: the sense of excursion, the tactile testing of the product, and immediate gratification. But even if the store fails, the big box can be adapted to another function, such as a bowling alley, a car service center, a church. The utility of the raw space will always find a function to fit its form. Outside of the cities, where land is flat and cheap, the size of these stores becomes immense. And in these 24-hour stores, you can do anything. You can buy tires, you can get a cake baked and customized for your birthday, and if you worked there, you would never have to leave. Just go sleep in the mattress department. I envision these stores getting even larger. Imagine if you could drive on the inside of them. Meets, exit 3A, 1 mile. Think of all the time you would save. You simply drive your car or truck in, put the item in there, and as you leave, the whole car is scanned and the bill is charged against your Easy Pass. As I see institutions and companies grow, change, and die, it just reminds me how wasteful it is to customize each building for each generational iteration. Perhaps a big box, simple building is the ultimate sustainable solution. Mies was right. Less is more. But bigger is more too. I'm Michael Molinelli, and this is Architecture Codex.